That earthquake rocking Puerto Rico, the 5.8 quake striking as people slept, damaging homes, knocking out power, and threatening landslides. It is the latest challenge to the island, still reeling from devastating hurricanes 2 years ago. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo tonight.
Tonight, Puerto Rico rocked by a 5.8 earthquake. In this neighborhood, houses cracked, shaken right off their foundations. Power poles snapped, stretching across the street. And look at this home. The top floor collapsed, pancaking both cars parked below. It was one of the strongest quakes to ever hit the U.S. territory, causing small landslides on this highway. Drivers forced to avoid boulders during their morning commute. Officials say tremors have been hitting the area since late December. The quake striking at 6:32 a.m. local time, less than 10 miles off the southwest coast near the major city of Ponce, a place we visited a few months ago. Still so vulnerable more than 2 years since Maria.
Rain coming, a lot of water.
A lot of water comes right inside the house.
More than 13 aftershocks hit today. This station live on the air during one of them. Despite the damage, thankfully, no injuries have been reported. Officials say that people on the southwest side of the island need to remain on high alert. Puerto Rico sits along the border of two tectonic plates, so earthquakes are a way of life there. The best advice for anyone whose house was damaged, wait for an engineer to clear it before returning inside. David?
Thinking about everyone in Puerto Rico tonight, Victor.
Puerto Rico has been rattled by more than 100 earthquakes over the last week. The strongest one came this morning when islanders woke up to a 5.8 magnitude quake. And video coming out of the island shows some damage to homes, especially ones built on stilts. There are reports of significant damage in the town of Guanica. Now, you may recognize it because that's where the bioluminescent bay is located. Now, the latest quake happened not too long ago. This time it was on land. It was a 4.8 magnitude quake. Parts of the island are without power, and small landslides prompted crews to temporarily close roads on the south coast. Now, remember, this is all happening as the island is struggling to rebuild after Hurricane Maria hit back in 2017. Is there a reason that we're seeing so many earthquakes in this area then?
Nothing that we can pinpoint and say that's exactly it. It's in an area of seismic activity where we normally do see it. That house you saw in that video, that's really typical for houses, especially in that area. They're kind of up on stilts.
Right.
That damage was from this morning's quake, which was 5.8, which was offshore. We just had one at 4:37 p.m., just 20 minutes ago or so. And that one was at 4.8. That one was over land in the same vicinity, southwest Puerto Rico. You can see what's happening here. That's the area where we've seen all of these quakes in just the last week or so. But you notice the big one we had offshore this morning was right there. That was the 5.8, and the one that we just had, in fact, this one right here is brand new. I'm even going to have to check the size of that one, but that's probably in the 4.5 range. These are 100 times weaker than that. But they're formidable earthquakes, so a lot of shaking. So the damage of that house we just showed you, that actually occurred from this one this morning, this one being over land, and it was only 6 miles deep. The shallower it is, the more shaking on the surface. So there's going to be some issues with some damage for that one. If you look to the north, there's two plates right along this line. There's the North American plate and the Caribbean plate, and they're kind of coming at each other. That's where you would expect a lot. We see some there, but we've been seeing them down here. The good news is these green faults you see, they go like this. They don't go up and down. They're called transform, and so they do not generally create a tsunami threat, and we have not had a tsunami threat with any of these over the last week. That's at least some really good news there.
Puerto Rico is recovering after a 5.8 magnitude earthquake hit the island early this morning. The quake hit as the territory kicked off its Three Kings Day holiday. According to Puerto Rico's Director of Emergency Management, there were no major injuries. In these videos, though, you can see houses toppled over, cars crushed, and walls cracked. There was also rubble in the roads. The United States Geological Survey says there have been hundreds of small earthquakes in the same region. On December 28th, 3 quakes hit in just 3 hours. 2 were 4.7 magnitude and 1 was a 5.0 magnitude. The USGS also says because the quakes are hitting so close to land and in shallow depths, people are more likely to feel them. Aftershocks are expected after Monday's quake, but there are no tsunami warnings.
Hearing from a San Francisco resident who's in Puerto Rico and felt the destructive 5.8 earthquake today. Joining me now by FaceTime is Fernando Velez. Now, Fernando, can you kind of explain what happened when this earthquake hit?
It was about 6:30 in the morning. Basically, everybody was still asleep when this happened. A lot of people just wake up with their house on the ground. Most of the houses here are built in a second floor platform, held by some columns, and on there we use as a garage. So a lot of these houses basically just fell into the top of the cars with the people inside the house that were sleeping.
Well, was everybody in your house okay, and in the area around you?
Yeah, my house was okay. But thanks God we're fine. All my family, is good. We're just super scared because it's just happening since 6:30 in the morning. There's been like 16. The latest was like about 40 minutes ago, or 4.5, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's just been a really busy day there, it sounds like. As far as the damage is concerned, you talked about those houses falling on cars. What else are you seeing?
There's a lot of landslides, a lot of electricity poles falling, a lot of cracks in the houses, some old structures have fallen, like walls and roof. At least nobody has been injured so far. They had declared some towns an emergency. Some people have been moved because they're living close. And it's just been, since December 28, it's been shaking every day. And we're just living in this fear that we don't know if it's going to be a bigger one. We were told that there shouldn't be no more, and then today we have a bigger one than the one that we had on December 28.
As far as power and water are concerned, do you guys have both of those?
So what I have, and the knowledge I have, is that they shut down the electricity when this happened for about 8 hours to ensure that there's no fires or, people getting electrocuted because of the poles that fall. Yeah, the electricity is back on. We're good now. Good.
And I understand that one of the famous natural landmarks there, the Punta Ventana, has just completely fallen down.
Yeah, that's correct. That's actually in my town, my hometown, just 3 miles from me, and it's just gone. I'm glad that there was, that would be during the day. That's a very famous spot where people can go there to take pictures. That would be really bad if that would have happened when people were riding on top of that. But it's gone. It's completely gone. And, we were driving around. You see huge rocks that have fallen. And because it's raining now, the rocks are a little loose. So people had to be careful driving because they're still falling from being loose.
So what's next for everybody there?
We don't know. We just literally, my mom said that she wants to sleep outside. People have suitcase ready. My family is just crying and anxious because 16 of them, about 6 we felt them, and we just don't know. They're saying that there is 2 different faults, and when one moves, it passes heat to the other one or something like that, and that's when the other one shakes. Like they're both taking turns.
I mean, Puerto Rico has hardly even recovered from Hurricane Maria, and now here's this big quake. What does this do as far as the damage and the infrastructure for your country, or for this part, I should say, of Puerto Rico?
Well, the sad part is in the town where is the epicenter. It's a lot of poor people who are elderly, who are in wheelchairs, and it's sad because how do they recover from this? How, and the help, they are alone. The whole family is here with my grandparents because they're like super scared. Everything fell on the floor, so we have to come help them. So there is a national holiday here that we're supposed to celebrate, and everybody's just scared. And we all now all the time we feel like, oh my God, did it shake again? Because we just constantly feel and we're just afraid. And it's getting to a point that people say, oh, I just want to, go to Florida or something while this passed, because this is very unusual. It's been since December 28th and we've been having shakes every day.
Yeah, and in some of the video, it looks like you can even see those aftershocks that are still happening. Well, stay safe, Fernando Velez. Thank you so much in Puerto Rico. We appreciate